Greetings. Interesting question for you. Would you rather be right? Would you rather be liked? Or would you rather be respected? Let's look at these for a quick minute. And I'm going to use at least a little bit of personal stuff on a couple of these. On the first one, would you rather be right? I've always wanted to be right. I wanted to be right as a kid. I read a lot of stuff. And then I read the stuff behind stuff. So that whenever someone said something and I knew it was wrong, I had to tell them. And I had to tell everybody else. And that was just the way I was. I always wanted to be right. And we didn't have internet back then. So if you were better read than other people, you usually knew a lot of stuff. And it was interesting because it wasn't until I was in my 20s when someone one day said to me, "You're always right." I said, "Well, I know that." She said, No, that's not a good thing. You're always right. You never give anyone else a chance to be right." I said, "Well, if they're right, I don't say anything." She said, "That's not the point. People who feel that someone else is always right are never going to share anything, and they're never going to say anything. They're not going to try to learn anything on their own because they figure you always know all the answers. So they don't have any interest in wanting to know anything. And then they can't talk with everyone else because if you're around, they know you're going to correct them if they're wrong." And I heard that. And initially, I didn't quite understand why people want to go around not understanding the difference between being right and being wrong. And yet, over the years, I've realized that, especially in today's world, everyone doesn't necessarily respond to someone telling them that they're wrong, or someone else who's right all the time. There's a lot of stuff I can pull out and pull up all the information and show that I'm right, but sometimes people don't care. People want to know what they know. They want to believe what they want to believe. As long as it doesn't impact the job, it shouldn't really matter. So every once in a while, I back off of that. I've had to learn that lesson, and I owe that to a friend of mine. Now, being liked is another interesting thing. I have never gone into a leadership thing, or since I've been a consultant, gone into a place with the intention of being liked. One, it's not my job to be liked. But I have known a lot of leaders who wanted to be liked. The problem with wanting to be liked is that sometimes you make decisions based on, are they still going to like me after I make this decision, as opposed to, is this the right decision to make? There's nothing wrong with being liked, but the job always comes first. In your personal life, it's almost the same thing. If you're well liked, a lot of times that's a bad thing because you may be agreeing to do every single thing, and it's stuff you really don't want to do. Is it really worth being liked that much that you now become a doormat? And, people just step all over you, and you just go along and you say, well, at least they like me. Or would you like to have more control over your life? So now let's look at being respected. Respected is a totally different animal, yet if you go for respect, you will probably be liked a lot of times, and you will probably be right a lot of times. Here's the thing with being respected. Being respected basically says that you're looking for the right answer, but you're not thinking that you know it all. Sometimes the right answer is going to make some people mad, but it's the right thing to do. And when it works out, they're going to say, wow, you know what? You got to respect them. That person certainly knows what they're doing. That's really the way to go. But it doesn't mean that you do it by excluding the opportunity to be liked or the opportunity to be right. Now, if you want to just be respected and not really do anything, then you're not going to have respect for long. There have been people who have shown up in places where they have done great work in other places, other jobs or whatever, and they come to a new place and they totally fail because they were respected based on their name and their history, but not respected on anything that they did for the current organization. So, it's a fine line, but anyone who takes a job that they really don't understand without having kind of any idea of what's expected of them is really risking the opportunity to lose whatever respect they've gained. It happens all the time. In a weird way, it happens right now. Elon Musk is going through a lot of stuff. This is a guy who I didn't even know who he was 6 months ago. I'm a little behind sometimes on the new things that are going on. I had no idea who he was. And I talked to some people, and they say, well, gee, this guy does this and this and this and this, and they respected him. And then there were a lot of people who liked him. And then he decided to start saying certain things online with his expectation that because he had this rep And because he felt he was right, that he would just basically get away with it, and it doesn't fly. So right now, he's not really liked. He's got people telling him that he's not even close to right, and he's lost a lot of respect. And it turns out he's losing a lot of money also. You know? So I ask you these questions. Do you want to be right? Do you want to be liked? Do you want to be respected? Or would you like all three? Do you think these are good leadership habits? You know what? You let me know. I've told you what my thoughts are. I'd like to hear from you. My name is Mitch Mitchell. This is what I do. I'll talk to y'all next time.